So today's question, which you will probably already see on the title of the video, is can we help our loved ones to heal from illness, or is it something that they can only do for themselves? Now, I always say that the true healing has to come from inside. It has to come from inside the person who is unwell, who is going through the illness. It's an inside job because they have to get these insights, or they have to get this feeling of, oh my gosh, this is why I'm going through this, and they have to work through things. However, there are things that the loved ones around them can do and say, and there are ways they can support them so that the person going through the illness gets the right insights. So on the one hand, there are things that we can do to help them and support them to get the transformation and the insights they need. And also, of course, just to support them physically through their illness. But also, there are things that the loved ones who are around them should not do, because it kind of sets them back. And so I want to talk about these elements today. So if you have a loved one who's going through an illness, I think this will really help you. If you know somebody who is taking care of a loved one who is going through an illness, I think this will help them. So please share this with them. If you are a caregiver, I think this will help you. If you are a healer, a nurse, even a doctor, I think this will help you. So anyway, let's get started. So the number one thing that I would ask you to do if you are taking care of a loved one is help them get excited about life again. Like truly help them get excited about life. You know, usually an illness is like a wake-up call or an accumulation of being tired of the way life is for the person going through it. You know, they've taken on things that they don't want to. They've lost their way emotionally, spiritually. They're not on the path that they intended to come here to be on. They've kind of they've started to become somebody who they're not. They're people pleasers, they're doormats. So it's all these kinds of things. And they don't know how to get excited about life again. Also, a lot of people who go through health challenges, who get repeated health challenges, like it might be somebody for whom they have a chronic illness that's gone on for years, or somebody for whom they're getting cancer for the third, fourth, fifth time. I mean, I know of people who contact me and say, I don't know what to do. This is like my fifth time or my sixth time, and I thought I was done with it. So here's the thing. For people for whom it's repeated or it's chronic and it's been going on for years, it's like they don't know how to be a well person. That's really what's going on. So the more that we just focus on the actual physical illness, which is what we do when somebody gets ill, the minute they get ill, we're all jumping in and saying, oh my God, you're sick. You have to take these meds. You have to go through this protocol. The whole focus is on the illness. And if this is the only way they know how to be a victim of illness, then this is what they will continue to be. We have to help them be a well person again. And we do this by getting them excited about being a person who's well, by getting them excited about life and living life. So it's not about focusing on healing their illness. But as a caregiver, as a friend, as a family member, your job is to help them focus on getting excited about life. What do they love to do? What are their hobbies? Help them to laugh. Take them to the beach. Take them on a car ride. Do fun stuff. So that is really important. If you are someone who has a kind of a coach personality, a healer personality, you can even go deeper and delve into like, what is it that's burdening them in their life? Are they the type of person that says yes when they mean no? Maybe encourage them to make a list of things that they've taken on recently that they don't want to, that they haven't wanted to, but haven't been able to say no. Encourage them to let go of those things one by one. Let go of their burdens. So basically, the number one way is help them to get excited about life, including helping them to let go of their burdens and look forward to life again. Ask them, what would you do if you had a clean bill of health? and then help them to do it. Say, what would you do to celebrate if today the doctor said you have a clean bill of health? You don't want to go back to the old life and the old person that you were, and help them to celebrate and live a life of health and vibrancy and joy and happiness. So that's the number one thing. The number two thing is what not to do. And it's do not judge them. Do not judge them if they look frail, if they look sick, if they're not improving. Do not put pressure on them. Do not make them feel pressure that they need to see other people. Because here's the thing. A lot of people that are sick, even while they're sick, are still thinking of the people around them. They still have trouble saying no, even while they're sick. They're still taking on the duties and the responsibilities of being a good parent or a good wife or a good daughter or a good friend. They're still doing all those things. So do not judge them. In fact, help them let go of those things and remind them to take care of themselves. Remind them to follow their own joy, and that they don't need to look after other people, and encourage them. Tell them they're doing great. So let me give you some examples of how we judge people. If they're not improving, absolutely do not say like, oh my gosh, you still look terrible, or you're still so sick. And it may sound weird the way I say it. It's like, who would say such things? Believe me, people do. And I went through that. So I am speaking from my own experience of having a diagnosis of terminal cancer. I am not a doctor. I am not somebody who has studied how to treat people. I am speaking from my own experience of how the way other people treated me, how it affected me. I am telling you what I would want in terms of support, knowing what I know now if I had to go through it again. So this is where what I'm saying is coming from. And I remember that I went through a long phase of not wanting to see anyone because I didn't know what reaction I would get. I knew I looked sick. I knew not everyone agreed with the protocols I was going through, but more than anything, I needed support. And I didn't feel I was getting it from everyone, and I didn't feel safe around a lot of people. I didn't feel safe that they would say and do the right things that I needed to hear to support what I was going through. So I was very selective, and I wanted to be alone or just with my husband, Danny, or with my immediate family members who I trusted. I didn't want to see visitors. So when people would send me messages or try and call me and say they want to see me, it would put pressure on me. And so this is something I would say is that when your loved one or the person who's sick doesn't want to see people, honor that. Please honor that, because the more you force yourself on them, the more, again, you're putting pressure on them to say yes when they mean no. They're people that are not going to fight very hard, and they're going to do it, and they're going to do it for you. And it's actually going to put even more pressure on them, and it's going to drain them even more. That's what happened to me. And I remember one day when this couple, they were close friends of ours, and I didn't want to see anyone because they were, including them, because I knew in order to see them, they wanted to go out and have dinner, and I knew I would have to dress up. And I didn't want to face the public because I really felt I looked terrible. I looked sick. I was completely drawn and sick looking. So finally one day, because they really said that, oh, we need to see you, it's been too long. Finally, I gave in and I said, okay, let's go out for lunch. And I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday, and we went to a restaurant, and Danny and I were there first, and we were sitting there. And then when the couple showed up, the lady, the wife, when she looked at me, she said, oh my God, I didn't realize you were this sick. Now that was the last thing I needed to hear. And I don't know what made her say that. I think she was just overwhelmed as to how sick I look. But that made me feel so awful about myself, because when I'd got dressed up and come out, I thought, okay, I don't look so bad. I'd convinced myself I didn't look so bad. But her reaction, I just couldn't take it. I went to the bathroom And I started crying. And of course, they knew something was wrong. And then she came in to the bathroom and then she apologized to me. But for me, it was over. I couldn't eat. I told Danny that I need to excuse myself. And then he, of course, got up and he brought me home. And then I was too traumatized to actually meet other people because their reaction was so unpredictable. So if you know somebody is sick, even if they're deteriorating, please, please don't tell them that. Please don't put any pressure on them that they have to get well, they have to meet people, they have to do this. Please don't do that to them. The best thing you can do is just be there for them. Number 3, and that's number 3, your only job is to love them through it. That's it. Love them through it, support them through it. But the biggest element is just love them. Love them unconditionally where they are right now. Just love them. And really, that is the best thing. That is the absolute best thing that you can do. And as I said, make them forget that they're sick. Don't treat them like a sick person. Make them laugh. Don't judge them if they want to drink wine, if they want to eat something fun. Don't judge them for doing that, because those foods are not what made them sick. What made them sick was the pressure of trying to live up to everybody else's expectations. So number 3 is love them through it. So if I can repeat, number 1 is get them excited about living. Number 2 is don't judge them. Number 3 is love them. And number 4, really important, take care of yourself. If you are tired, if you are drained, if you are fearful about their condition, don't go near them. Don't go near them because they can feel your energy. You need to take care of yourself. You need to be in a place and in a position where you can be strong enough to show up, make them feel joyful, love them. If they want to cry on your shoulder, you need to have the energy and the strength and enough charge in your own battery to take that from them. If they want to cry on their shoulder, if they want to trust you. So you need to charge your own batteries. So don't do it out of obligation. Don't do it out of fear. Even if it's your parent, even if it's your child, you need to take care of yourself. You need to spend some time every day charging your own batteries, practicing a random act of kindness for yourself, soaking in a tub, doing whatever you do, and don't feel you're selfish for doing it. I know I did. When my friend had cancer and I did not have cancer, I felt guilty doing anything for myself, to the point that I got so drained that I got my own diagnosis. So don't do that. Don't do that. You don't need to be sick to take care of yourself. So take care of yourself and then be there for others. Remember, on every airline you fly in, it says to put your own mask on before you assist others. So this is something you really have to do. And number 5, if your loved one does cross over, I want you to remember that they did not lose the fight. It wasn't a fight against their own body. Our bodies are not war zones. Our bodies are not battlegrounds that we have to win. So if they do cross over, they did not lose. They have gone to a beautiful place and it was their time. They crossed over not because they don't love you enough, not because they don't love life enough, but for their own reasons, whatever they may be. Because when they cross over, they love you unconditionally, absolutely unconditionally. They love you for being there. They love you even if you've had a falling out with somebody. When they cross over, that's all gone. They know your heart. They know what you feel about them, so they know you love them. So when they cross over, you take care of yourself. Take care of your own grief. Do what you have to do, but don't feel bad for them. They're in a beautiful place, and they are somewhere where they can actually do more, because very often people cross over because they feel they can do more from the other realm than this realm. Sometimes people cross over because it is their time. When it's their time, it's their time. And people cross over, they choose different ways to cross over. Sometimes an illness like cancer has come to rescue someone from a life which is no longer the life that they intended to create. So don't feel bad for them, but do take care of yourself and take all the time you need to grieve. And just remember, when someone crosses over, they haven't lost. They haven't lost. And cancer is not an enemy. It is your body actually trying to tell you something, trying to rescue you from a situation. And your physical body is actually, your physical body loves you unconditionally and is wise beyond you give it credit for.